And the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. We subbed out one champion for another. No D-Mac today, so, we got an NBA champion. Lindsey Hunter here in the house today. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, jump in there. But, Lindsey, what's popping, man?
Hey, Sweet 16, baby.
Sweet 16, absolutely.
And the NBA is coming down to the final road.
It is. It's coming down the stretch. Sam Flannel's Los Angeles Lakers have actually won a couple. They're in right now, Sam Flannel.
Barely. Dangerously almost out.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Okay, Sam
Please.
Flannel. Anyway, though, happy to have you all with us. Obviously, still, we're going to have a lot of Lions stuff to get to. We are going to dive into the Sweet 16. Guys, it's a Sweet 16 game tonight for Michigan State. We're going to talk about it, okay? We just are. We got Lindsey here. I have some questions. I have some thoughts on the game as well. I want to gauge where Spenmo's head is at. I get the sense it's a lot of found money, Spenmo, right now.
Yeah,
is it
you're playing
$20
on
bill
house
out of your
money
pocket?
right now. You're playing on house money right now.
Yep, there it is. So Michigan State is a favorite in the game against Kansas State, 1.5-point favorite. I may or may not have a get right for you later. We will see. But I'm holding strong to my convictions, and I'll lay out that plan as we get to it. But, Lindsey, I got to tell you guys a story first. And, in the open, we'll touch on some, real-life stuff. So I roll up to Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports, just down the road there on Maple Road. And I get out of my car, and I grab my stuff out. And you know how people listen to their Bluetooth loud as hell on their phone now? when you're next to someone that makes a call on their Bluetooth, you can hear it from 2 blocks over.
Yeah.
It's like they got it on 15-inch kickers or something like that. But anyway, dude next to me's on his Bluetooth, and he dials his number or whatever, and he gets a busy signal. I hear the busy signal.
Right.
I'm like, I was stunned, bro. I didn't know the busy signal was still with us. Did you know that?
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah, it's come to find out it's still with us.
Honestly, when I'm calling somebody, I never really think about...
When was the last time you heard a busy signal?
Good question. I've never really thought about hearing a busy signal on the phone. Do they still exist?
I heard it. I heard it this morning. I was stunned because it got me to thinking. I'm like, man, when's the last time you heard a busy signal? And I was like, bro, I don't even remember that. Spenmo, have you ever heard a busy? You're a younger dude.
I have, yes.
Okay, when?
Not in a long time.
He said not in a long time.
Not in a long time, but I've heard one before.
Yeah.
So you have heard one before.
I have.
Sandy's in the house. She said she hears them from time to time. So I hadn't heard one, and I started doing the mental math. I said, man, that's got to be 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
I'm sure we've heard it. We just ignored it because I'm sure there's a busy signal on the cell phone when you call somebody and they don't answer. There has to be. We just don't pay attention to it.
Maybe. I don't know. Ryan's reaction, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You can jump in and get your thoughts in there right now. Ryan's reaction says we all have call waiting, which, yes, I understand. But he called somebody and got a busy signal. I heard it. People for 3 blocks heard it because his Bluetooth was loud as hell. But that's a no. Why is everybody's Bluetooth so loud in their car?
Well, it was in the car. So I don't do it in the car because I know it. Sometimes when you're it transfers, it goes blank for 10 seconds, and you can't hear anything. So I was like, I'm not doing all that.
Detroit Dabber 313, Neal, your personal assistant, makes all your calls. Maybe that could be the case.
Got him!
Jalen Burleson says, I'm 21 years old. I have no idea what a busy signal is. And that was my point about it.
Right.
Yeah, like that, the beep, beep, beep. So you know what it is.
Young people probably wouldn't because, young people don't even know what, house phones are like.
And I asked the guy running the Planet Fitness over there. He's a younger dude. I was like, bro, have you ever heard a busy signal in your life? And he goes, I have no idea what that means. And look, I'm not saying this like I'm old moment or anything like that.
No, but that's you know, something to think about, because I was thinking about it myself. Like, have I heard one? When is the last time I heard one?
For real?
Not
Like,
just the rotary phones.
Yeah, the household line. One Funky Lions fan says household landlines still exist. So yeah, they do. But isn't that even digital now? Like,
Yes.
yeah, like they're
Household landlines
Yeah.
still exist?
I guess so. I mean,
Oh, wow.
that I know. I know they do, because you always see it, right? Like when your cable company or whatever jacks up your cable rate, when that little promo period goes over, and you got to call them up and do the song and dance, and they're like, "Well, I can give you the landline phone and the internet and the cable for X amount of dollars." So I know they're still there.
Are they? Because I've never heard anyone offer me the landline anymore.
It's on there. Go to the website and look, man. It's on there. So it was wild to me. And again, it's not a I'm old moment. It's just something where you don't think about it, and then when you do, it blows your mind.
Well, it's not a I'm old moment. It's I'm older moment.
Yeah, more mature.
Yeah, there
more
you go.
experienced.
There you go.
More well-rounded.
It's like wine.
Yeah.
You know?
Pistons fan 11. My grandparents had the rotary phone on deck, as did mine back in the
I
day.
had a rotary phone in my basement.
Do you?
I used to, like when I was growing up.
Yeah, my grandma had one. I still remember her number.
Do you
982-8299.
There it is.
754-5933.
See?
Yeah. Kyle Stark says my ex's younger sister didn't know what a VCR was, and I was thinking about that. Like my kids would have, if I handed them a VHS tape, they would have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
They would know what a CD is, but they wouldn't know what a
What about
VCR
floppy
is.
Well, I purposely...
They wouldn't know what that is
I
either.
purposely introduced my kids to a VCR just so they would know what it was.
just to
Like,
to
dude,
have that
this
frame.
is a VCR, right? These are VCR tapes. This is how you play it.
You got to rewind it.
They
before
were
you send it
fascinated.
away.
They were like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jack Harrington says, I've been on Earth 30 years. I've never heard a busy signal. and it is. It's just, it's one of the, and again, it's not an I'm old moment. It's just that you don't realize how quickly time goes by when you don't hear something. Like, you just go about your life. And it did. It made me stop. Like, it stopped me in my tracks. I was like, is that a busy signal that I'm hearing over this guy's Bluetooth that's on like level 30?
Well, think about this. Think about how fast CDs went out of style.
It's true.
They went out fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cassettes were around longer than CDs. CDs came out and just disappeared.
And I guess that makes sense, right? Because of the technology
Yeah.
update. Like, they found a way to compress music digitally, and then they just compressed it more to the point where you didn't need the disc anymore.
Yeah, you don't need anything anymore, not just the phone.
What about you, Sam Flannel? You're in that 30-ish range, right?
Yes.
Hey, when's the last time you heard a busy signal?
You know, it's funny you were mentioning that, and I thought, what does a busy signal even sound like? I mean, I've heard some phone sounds, but the busy signal, I couldn't even tell you whether it's busy or not, so I guess I haven't heard one. I don't know. I remember using landlines and everything. I'm not that old, but the busy signal, it's way over my head at this point.
Doug Fungus says, every time Brad Holmes makes a move, I get a busy signal, but it's in my pants. So there's that one out there. so there's that one out there as well. Ryan's reaction, when is the last time Neal heard a furnace kick on? Well, I think about the heating bill all the time when it kicks on. So, you know, I do hear it. I do hear it. Grit says, calling into a radio station. That is, I guess that's true, right? Like, that's you would say that, I guess. I don't know. We've been talking about that, by the way. You guys want to do phone calls someday on this show? I feel like we need to revisit that, right? Should we have that discussion?
Yeah.
Should we open it up to what are your guys' thoughts in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread about phone calls? First off, Sam Flannel, since you're the one that would be in the line of fire of this, do you support this or do you disagree?
I support it.
You support it.
Whatever the chat wants, I'm down for it.
So you want the will of the people?
Yes.
Yeah. Sandy says yes. What about you, Spedmo?
Yeah, it works for me.
Lindsey, what I like that we do this a little differently with the comments and the threads and stuff like that, because we can like keep it pushing. And I am for phone calls, but I am for good phone calls, and I am anti bad phone calls, because it drags everything down. The whole energy of the show, it drags it down. What's your gut telling you on this, Lindsey?
Yeah, I agree with it. I think as long as they're good phone calls, I'm all for it. I think it's fun.
Sam Flannel, you do this across a lot of the shows here, right?
I mean, I have from time to time, yeah.
You have from time to time?
Yes.
What's the ratio of good phone call to bad phone call?
Oh, most of them are good. You hardly ever get like a clunker phone call. The most, I'd say the most egregious thing is sometimes the callers can kind of go on and on and on and sort of take over the show. That's the biggest sin. Most of them are good because we have a smart audience here at Woodward Sports.
That is true.
To you guys.
No, and that is true, because I listen to different media entities in this town, and I listen to their callers, and they are not good callers.
Some are not.
Some are
Mistakes
not good
were
callers.
made.
Yeah, I heard one of them on the Drive Time show the other day, Valeni and Rico, and he said Izzo has never developed anybody and brought them into, made them into the next level. Because they were saying, Juwan's not that great of a coach just yet. Who is he developed and made it into something? And they said, Buffkin and the point guard this year might be their first couple guys. And the guy was like...
the team that's in the NIT?
Yeah, and the guy was like, Izzo's never done that with anybody. Who is he took to the next level that wasn't there yet? I was like, come on, man. Tillman.
See,
Denzel Valentine, Cassius Winston.
And here's where that comes around to me.
Gary Harris.
I don't have the time, and I don't have the desire to deal with a phone call like that, Lindsey. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that phone call could have been educational to the caller, because you could have educated him about how many people Izzo really developed. Right?
And that's fair. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So,
but it would depend on the time of day, the mood I'm in and stuff like that. Because sometimes I just don't have time for the nonsense, Because I feel, and look, it's a reflection of the people, right? The people that watch the show, I feel like they don't have time for the nonsense,
right? And I get it, because some callers make comments and do no due diligence to find out if what they're saying is valid. So, to say a statement like Izzo doesn't develop anybody and nobody's next level, it's simple. You look at Draymond Green. I mean, that's probably his biggest development right there. He's a two-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's going to make hundreds of millions.
Man,
when it's all said and done, hundreds of millions of dollars.
And who would have thought that? 'Cause he's a second-round pick.
Right. And that's facts.
Well, and Spenny, I was actually listening to that exact same thing at the exact same time. And the one thing that bothered me the most about that particular caller, I'm not a Juwan Howard guy, but when they asked him who is Michigan and Juwan Howard developed, the layup answer is Kobe Buffkin, and the caller didn't even say him.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're gonna come at Tom Izzo, at least have the Michigan answer. Kobe Buffkin's obvious; he obviously developed, but obviously Tom Izzo has developed players too. Bad call.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Todd Sane says, if you heard Lucas call in this morning, you would never have a call ever. So, okay, that's aggressive. But see, Todd, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's where I am with it. Justin says, I hate call-in shows. So, there is a faction of that. We're nearing 100 votes right now. Yes is 68%. So maybe we'll try it today. Second hour, maybe a test run. You guys up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it in the second hour. And remember, this is important. So, if you feel like you got the sauce, then go ahead and give it a spin. If not, maybe sit it out and let the other people do the heavy lifting. We will see. More text coming in. Ryan says, remember you have to answer the phone before knowing who the caller was with caller ID. Caller ID. Those were wild times. Remember that? You would just gamble.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. It's wild, man, when you go back and you think about it. But that guy getting the busy signal, man, it staggered me for a moment. It did. It really staggered me. Hey, we're going to talk some Detroit Lions football. Spenmo heard something in the streets.
In the streets.
The streets have been talking to Spenmo. He's a man of the streets. That street's usually 8 mile-ish, right? Like
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
All right, we'll discuss that. The Sports Marketing Agency, they spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. Helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com. Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
We're off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Thursday. Neal Ruhl, NBA champion Lindsey, Hunter here in the building. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, and all of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Although that may change in the second hour. woodwardsports.com chat thread reaction. KCJ Max says you don't need callers, you have the live chat. In case that's kind of where I was too. Everybody gets their point in. I can sort out what's relevant to what we're doing at the time. If someone has a good joke, whatever, we can kind of handpick what's going on. And Justin said, I always start radio shows late so I can fast forward the calls. Justin's anti-caller, and depending on the caller, it can be. But I am with you guys. Let's go Red Wing Sparty says Spenmo is a man of these streets. You are deep in the streets.
I'm deep in the streets.
You are. You certainly are. People talking about Star 6-7 and its implications. So that is that's pretty good. Some breaking news from the Lions camp. We've talked about Big V Vaitai, how he was a candidate for restructuring on his contract, and they have done that. The Lions have restructured Vaitai's contract, saving them about $7.5 million in 2023 and taking him off the 2024 salary cap. So that is that. Vaitai appears to be, what for all intents and purposes, certainly depending on what breaks down with the draft, could be his final year with the Lions, depending on how they go. But Lindsey, this is something I guess that's a lot different from your day. Speaking of busy signals, from your day, but this is something that's a lot different in that the financial angle of everything is front and center. It's not even about the. Very rarely is it about the player. It's about the contract.
Well, football, totally.
Right.
Because in basketball, you're locked in for however long you sign. You're locked in.
Right.
Football, you see restructures. You see guys taking less money to stay in a certain place.
Does that blow your mind as a basketball guy?
It does, man. It does, because there's no way I'm restructuring to help, you figure out your other side. No.
Right.
Figure that out around me.
Because we signed.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You agreed and I agreed. We signed, and this is what it's going down to.
But, football, and to me, football should be a sport where you do get guaranteed money because it's so dangerous.
Right.
I think the average football expectancy is, 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, yeah.
And that's crazy to me. But I guess it's more players, there's more money but they make more money. I don't know. I was always for football players having guaranteed contracts.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Andrew Klingerman says Holmes isn't done cooking. And look, as it sits, and again, that hasn't processed the whole Vaitai thing. So what I've seen anywhere to the Lions from 18 to 23 million, depending on where you shop for your cap figures. So quite possibly he's not, which kind of makes me mad, Lindsey, because I sit here on this microphone after every big signing and say, well, now the dust is settling. Now we're finished. Where are they? But here we go again, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's a never-ending process to me. I think, when you're in a situation that the Lions are in now, what is their goal? Their goal is to win now, right?
Yes.
That's a never-ending process. When you're trying to win now,
you're always trying to win now.
Yeah, you're constantly, flipping ideas. You're constantly trying to see what works. How can we make another deal to get? I mean, it's a never-ending process, which I think is a good thing. Because I'm always for GMs going for it. I hate to see GMs talk about, well, we're planning for next year or the year after. No, man, go for it.
Yeah.
Why not? Your job depends on it.
Right, and you do see this to a degree in basketball where the expiring contract has become a weapon. The expiring contract in the NBA and the restructure in the NFL they're on similar parallels, I guess you could say.
Kind of, sort of. The difference is the expiring contract. That guy's getting that money. They're not
they're not giving you money back.
Right.
Which is pretty wild. And if it hasn't happened yet, though, sorry to say, it's probably not going to happen. Just in terms of guaranteed money for NFL players, that will be NFL football Armageddon, Lindsey.
But will it really?
Yeah, because the owners will never go for it because they haven't gone for it yet, and the players won't die on the hill for it.
Yeah, well, I'm not even talking about the aspect of the owners not going for it. If it did happen, what effects would that have on the actual game? Like, would that take away from the game?
I think it would hurt it, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it would hurt it. I mean, not to bring Sam Flannel's guy, his main guy, best friend into this, there was a time and space not too long ago in the NBA, and you know this, Lindsey, where Juwan Howard was the highest paid guy in the NBA.
Right.
And he was at the end of the line already. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't the highest paid guy in the NBA on the floor. And so if you were dealing with a situation like you do in football, where say you had, I don't know, like say Matt Stafford right now was the highest paid guy in the NFL, that would hurt the product because he's not. Like, at no point was he ever the best player in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Well, think about this. It's always about what you negotiate. You're worth what you negotiate, they always say, right? So, I still think that would make people do their jobs. It would make you do your job. If you want a guy and you're willing to hash out that type of money, look at the Cleveland Browns. They've created a pickle because they gave a fully guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson. Now everybody's looking around like, well, if Deshaun got it in his under those circumstances, why can't I get it? And I have none of the baggage that he has.
Right.
So I just think it makes you do your job as a GM or, as a front office. I don't have a problem with a guy negotiating more than he's worth.
Oh, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I don't either, man. I hope to be one of those people one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to sit down at a table and walk out of there and go, wow, I got over.
Yeah.
I got over.
So, say, for instance, in the Juwan Howard situation, at the time, they thought that was a good deal for him, right? And then you turn around and go, whoa, he's not even the best player on our team.
Not even close.
Right.
Yeah, not even close. But that's why I think you'll never see that. And that's why I laugh too about the NFL owners. Because, and really in all sports, because it comes back to this, like the guaranteed contract thing. And it even permeated into the NFL. I never thought it would, but it did. You have to protect these owners from themselves. Like what they did in Cleveland, that was an abomination what they did with Deshaun Watson.
That man his
like
money.
Who in their right mind, not only today, knowing what you know, but the minute they signed that deal with Deshaun Watson, who other than the most thirsty Browns fan said that was a really good move?
Well, and man, we talk about what you just said all the time. Owners have to be protected from themselves, and that's what a lot of the bargaining agreements are about, protecting the owners from themselves because they're competitive guys too. They're billionaires that are competitive. I want to be better than Cuban, or I want to be
right.
They're the same way. But I think it still comes down to common sense. Why would I have to protect myself if I'm trying to put the best product out there and I'm competing with Cuban? There's only so far I'm going to go.
Right.
But unlike some of the owners, like the Cleveland Browns, they're willing to go over the top. And now you've set a standard that other quarterbacks are looking at that, have better resumes than your guy, and they're going, dude, he got 230 guaranteed.
That's the starting point, and I'm a better player, so that's the starting point.
Exactly.
Like when you and I sit down, GM Lindsey Hunter, hey, he's got 230 guaranteed. I have an MVP on my resume. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't have all this baggage, and they doubled down too. They restructured him already. He's going to be 60 plus million a year the next 3 years on their cap, man.
Cleveland Browns better win some games.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's it, man.
I remember when the first NBA contract hit after they got the new media deal. It was Mike Conley, and he signed like a $150 million extension. I was like,
Yes.
Mike Conley. I was like, I mean, he's a good point guard. Like, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but like,
he's solid.
$150 million. I was like,
Dude.
Jesus.
And now that's chump change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 40 per. Starting point is 40 per, getting up to 50 per.
Dude.
And look, it all plays back into the point I made before, where and LeBron's always, say what you want about LeBron. I know everyone's going to lose their mind right now. LeBron kind of championed this cause where LeBron gets paid way less than he's worth. Way less. So guys like Mike Conley get way more than they're worth, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. He did that, and the reason he does that is to stock up his team. You know, he wants his team to be able to sign other players also. Same Tom Brady, Tom Brady's situation.
He did that to a degree,
Tom Brady
too.
did it all the time, But these guys like that can afford to do that because they're making so much money other places. Like, they're making millions of dollars off the court, so it doesn't really matter what their basketball contracts or Tom Brady's football contract is worth. So,
Yeah, when you got the lifelong Nike deal,
right? You got
you can take a couple million off your NBA deal.
Right,
that is true. You can do what you want. Jason Moose says, "What's up, Neal Ruhl? What's up, Jason? How are you, man?" Sandy, Neal, do you have 2 furnaces? What size water heater do you have? I don't know. It's big. I know it's big, and I know that it's going to be due soon. I know all of that. So I try not to think about it. If I don't think about it, then I won't have to worry about it. So that's what I'm thinking.
I'm rich, bitch!
We got to get the horn in there too. The horn really sets that one off. Lane Hartman says Connor McDavid gets less than he should. The truly greats would break their team if they got a true market contract. And to back that up too, it would break American sports as we know it.
You think so?
If we went free
Cap
full
sports, yeah.
If we went free full market like soccer does, think about it, Lindsey. There'd be 3 teams in every league that matter, and we don't care now. You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of care about our local team, but if you're in a market where they don't win, like check back when the Tigers play the Royals in July on a Monday night. Holler at me if you're in Comerica Park, Lindsey. Hit me with that text. You ain't going to be there. You don't care.
But that's kind of how sports has always been, though. Think about it. For how many years we kind of knew who was gonna be Super Bowl contenders. We knew who the Major League Baseball teams who were going to be competing for, right? We always knew that it was a certain amount of teams that were going to always compete for championships, right? Always been like that.
Yeah, but usually in football, there's 2 that pop up. You know what I'm saying? There's 2 that pop. No one expected the Giants to win a playoff game. Nobody expected that. If you went full-on free-for-all, like in Euro soccer, the Champions League is the same 16 teams every year. Every year it's the same 16 teams.
Right.
All the time, dude. And that's why like you couldn't do that.
But the fans are going nuts there, though.
Yeah, and I didn't mean for that, I guess, to turn into that discussion, off Vitae restructuring. But, that's what it was. When Sam Flannel restructures his hair, what does he do?
I mean, I go to Lady Jane's, of course. They always have me looking as fly as I possibly can because come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community, giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Jump and Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on woodwardsports.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Lindsey, Hunter in for D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. All of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Jason Moose says, today's his birthday. I'm going to the Wings game. I heard D-Mac's going to be there to meet the fans. Is that true? I can't comment for sure on that. He tends to be there a lot, though. I will say that, though, Jason. And by the way, happy birthday to you, man. Appreciate you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I appreciate you tapping in to the show. So, we got off on that diatribe a little bit where it kind of went in a different direction than I was planning on it going. So let me re-rack this and try this again. So we talked about Vaitai and the restructure. So the Lions, with all these signings, still have a ton of cheese in terms of cap space. Going off the site that I like to use, you could see them having anywhere in that 25-ish million range. Now, certainly they have spent about $12 million on a draft class because they have 2 first-round picks. I'm glad we don't have to talk about the Lamar thing today. My thoughts are out there yesterday. If you missed it, by the way, download the podcast. Do yourself a favor and go back. I had enough yesterday, and I snapped a little bit. So download the podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, wherever. Go back and peep that about an hour in. Go back and listen to that. But, I'm not a guy that fans the Flames per se, but he stockpiled the cash and the cap space. You going to make a push for Bobby Wagner here, man? You feeling that at all?
I would definitely. I would.
And I don't usually fall for that stuff, Lindsey. And it goes against my inner wisdom to say that, because it seems like Bobby Wagner has it set up the way he wants it set up right now, where I think he wants to be in Seattle. That's what I think he wants, like, in his heart. He has Dallas, in his back pocket to drive up the price a little bit. I think he likes the chair he's sitting in right now, but he hasn't signed.
Yeah, man. But you get Bobby Wagner, dude. I think that's a chess move to me.
100%.
I would definitely go all out and try to get him. If you're all in, then that's what you do.
You do all in moves. Yeah. Spenmo. I don't usually come to this side of things. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm usually the rational one. And I'm not saying it's eminent or anything like that. That's an awful lot of chips to still have.
For sure.
After the Bears got done making it rain in the club. Take me through this, Spenny.
I personally think it's for Chark. I think they're making that money to get a deal done with DJ Chark. It's Bobby Wagner, again, like you said, for him, it looks like it's Dallas or Seattle. Yeah. I doubt he signs with Detroit. And there are a lot of good linebackers in this draft. It's in the second round. There's going to be a bunch of good guys available, whether it be Jack Campbell, Deion Henley, Demarion Overshown, different people like that. So I do think they're going to draft a linebacker, but I mean, you can't say no to a guy who's made all-pro team since 2014 every year.
And coming off, and normally you guys know how I vibe with this. Normally, I am in that camp where you get this old dude, he's kind of washed, he's kind of baked, he's living off a name and stuff like that. Well, Bobby Wagner, it's different. This dude's still putting bodies in the streets, man. Like, he's still out there playing at an all-pro level. Yep. So even me, somebody who's pro cap space, who's pro good contracts and everything like that. What do I always say, Spenmo? What will I pay for?
Talent.
I'll pay for quality. Absolutely. Yeah. Talent and quality, I'll pay for it. Because he looks like he's built a little different. Bobby Wagner looks like not only does he have it left in the tank, he's playing at a high level. And I see the path now. Here's the other thing. Here's the overriding thing with this. I see a path to make it happen now. To whereas before I didn't. Now I do. I'm just saying, Lindsey, I'm not calling for it, but it's in play. Maybe in my mind it's in play. Right. Maybe not in reality, because I do. In my gut, I think he wants to go to Seattle. I think that's where he wants to end up. But we can be a factor.
Well, we've seen that with, stealing players from the Eagles. I mean, we've seen that this is now a desirable place to be because of what is happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I don't think anybody else would be surprised. I think it'll be kind of like, oh, wow, another one, But if I'm going all in. Look, I don't care. Like, everybody was talking how bad the Rams look now. They got a Super Bowl.
They won a Super Bowl.
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, 100%. Who cares?
Do you win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, and did it take San Francisco safety dropping interception that hit him in the chest? It did, but you know what, Lindsey?
Let's not talk about that.
Show me a team that's won, and I'll show you a team that got lucky somewhere along the line.
Dude, as great as every Super Bowl quarterback or Tom Brady, they got lucky. Somewhere. Along the way.
When you guys won your chip in 04.
Yeah, we didn't get lucky though. We were just good.
But the Tayshaun play, right?
That was a block. What was lucky about that? He went and got that crap. Reggie should have dunked it.
100%, but he didn't.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's not known as a dunker either.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
He got that stuff
plastered. You know what he is known as? He's known as overrated in my book. And Flannel, give him the metrics.
No, let's not go here.
We talk about Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Has Flannel turned you on Reggie Miller?
This is factual. The Reggie Miller thing is factual.
This is like J.J. Redick with Larry Bird.
Hey, next break, we'll come back. Flannel will give you their numbers, and they are inarguable. And I'm with them on this one.
Absolutely.
Analytics.
I still got you for the rest of this segment, right? Did your head explode, Lindsey? Are we still good here? We're still good, right?
We're good.
Yeah. Flannel, we got an impromptu legend killer segment coming up in about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. What are you shaking your head for, Spembo?
Reggie Miller's not overrated.
He's beyond overrated.
Thank you. And
it's
I'm
not
with
even
them.
a question.
Thank you. I'm with them. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Don't miss that. About 5 minutes. We got an impromptu Sam Flannel legend killing that I endorse. And I think common sense will endorse.
No.
Big Dan Davis says Buffalo shopping defensive tackle Ed Oliver. Should Brad Holmes make a call to Buffalo and bring him to Detroit? Would this qualify as bringing him home, Spenmo?
Yeah.
Since it was talked about him being drafted by us?
Bring him home.
You got to hey, you guys remember on Big D Energy, you got to qualify it.
Yeah.
You're going to bring everybody home. I am a big Ed Oliver guy, so I wouldn't hate it. But anyway, I digress. It's just, for me, Cornelius T says Wagner in a 1-year contract is a smart move. And look, Wagner's not going the 1-year contract route. What did I say we're talking about? We're talking about paying for quality, which means he has leverage too.
Absolutely.
And he has multiple teams interested. So I'm not going to do a cannonball off that diving board. I'm going to dip my toes in the water and feel the temperature first and kind of look around and survey the scene. I'm not cannonballing in, Lindsey, but I'm interested.
What do you have to lose if you cannonball, though? Because the only thing he can say is, oh, I'm coming or I'm not. And if he doesn't, you go back and do what you have to do. I'm all in, man. I'm trying to win now.
I know, and I get it, and I'm here with you. I'm in agreement, man.
I'm trying to win
it's a 180 for me on this topic.
Because think about it. How close are the Lions? If you really believe that the Lions are that close to turning the corner, then why wouldn't you go all in to try to do anything in your power to improve your roster to be championship level? If you truly believe that, right?
Well, remember that top 10 defense that Spenny was talking about yesterday, which he thinks is a possibility for the Lions to have this year. If the Lions acquire Bobby Wagner, a man who's coming off a season in which he was PFF's #1 rated linebacker at his career high in sacks, the most interceptions and tackles for loss he's had since 2017, then maybe that's your top 10 defense. Maybe acquire Bobby Wagner, draft Jalen Carter. That defense would all of a sudden be scary.
Yeah.
Maybe even dominant. It's crazy to think about, but it's true.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I like this one. Dan G says, if Neal applies himself and works really hard, he might elevate himself to mid one day. So that's on the horizon?
There you go.
I could get up there, right?
Something to shoot for.
Thank you, Sam Flannel. I appreciate that. Brandon Cat says Detroit will pay Oliver more than they would have to pay Carter if they drafted him, and Carter is a better player. And Brandon, look, that's relevant to me. And I have to take my love for Ed Oliver away from it and look at the situation analytically, because Oliver was that was a TJ Hawkinson draft, if my memory serves. And so he's coming up at the end too. So that's probably why Buffalo's shopping him, because there's no room at the inn for Ed Oliver in that contract. So they're kind of painted into a corner with it. So, again, kind of keeping in the flow of where I am and the consistencies and stuff like that upon further examination. No, because we're going to bring him in here and then have to pay him?
Right.
No,
Hey.
I'm definitely going to draft one instead of pay one.
I get it, but
Because he's good, but he ain't Bobby Wagner good. He ain't all pro good.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I think that's the difference. If I'm getting an all pro, I'm going to get him.
Yeah.
If not, like you said, you can draft a guy that you think will be comparable or better, and pay him less.
And pay him less,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And here's where it is, too. One funky Lions fan says, this is probably Wagner's last legit shot at a bag. He won't want a one-year deal unless it's over the top. And boom, 100% right. Lindsey, take me through that. Mid-30s, you're going through. You weigh a guy that's already won.
Yeah, he's already won a Super Bowl.
You weigh the bag. You know what? The bag weighs differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. But don't you think if you could get a Super Bowl out of it, all of that's worth it?
You tell me, man.
Yes, definitely.
Really? Okay.
Man. Look, there is.
You'll take 50% less money to win at the end of your career.
Oh, definitely.
For real.
Yeah, I would.
Even as a guy that's already won.
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to win
A little
again.
double clutch there.
Because think about it. You're probably going to make a little extra money when you win again. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think, but 50%, I don't think he'll take that type of pay cut. You think it'll be that?
I'm just giving a for instance.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd take a pay cut to be on a better team. Nobody wants to be in a rebuilding situation. Nobody, especially a guy that's won already. Unless he's tucked everything in and said, you know what, I'm about to get this payday. I'm retiring. I'm going to Colorado.
That's a vibe I get from him about the whole Seattle thing.
You think
You know
so?
what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I think in my gut, I think that's where he's going to end up.
Well, if that's his desire, then he'll do it. But if he still wants to compete, the way he's playing, though, the way he is playing, it just doesn't seem like he would be a guy that's content with, hey, we're gonna make the playoffs maybe, and be out the first round again, and I'm content with that. Maybe he's happy with that, but I would think a guy like that would want to compete for another Super Bowl.
Nicholas Duncan says, win with two teams and first-class Hall of Fame. He's already a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
No question.
Bobby Wagner. He doesn't have to worry about that.
Right.
No, he's in those streets.
Yeah.
A lot like Spenmo. Is in those streets as well. But yeah, there's a good question that just came across here, and I'm gonna think about this. Somebody asked me in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Neal, what's the most that you would pay Bobby Wagner? Let me think about that for a minute after I tell you about Cintron, the official energy drink of the Red Wings, and an exclusive offer for fans of Big D Energy and Woodward Sports. The limited edition Red Wings Cintron 6-pack sampler box. $15, free shipping. $15 right to your door. $15, 6 cans of Cintron, and you can taste it all. The cranberry, the classic, and the sugar-free. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and try it today. Again, classic, cranberry, sugar-free, all of it. Proud partners with Little Caesars Arena, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Great hydration, great taste as well. Balanced nutrition, all of it. Cintron's not this, you're not sitting out there with 50 grams of sugar and a gajillion grams of nicotine and all that, or nicotine, you know what I'm saying, caffeine and all that stuff. Not going to get you all super jittery and all that. It's Cintron, man. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. On Ryan Ermanni has started his journey with Custom Health Centers. He got a six-pack overnight. Look at him. He's ripped. No, we're just playing. But he is down over 18 pounds, though, with Custom Health Centers. They have over 20,000 success stories. You can be next. They've helped many former professional athletes lose weight. Former Lions kicker and Pro Bowl MVP Eddie Murray, NBA champion Rick Mahorn, and Pistons bad boy Ricky's down over 50 pounds with Custom Health Center. 50 pounds. Call Dr. Jason today. Who?
Rick?
Yeah.
Dang.
He's looking good, man. You see it because he's already a good dresser to start.
I got to go see him, man.
Yeah, and it's hitting different. So, yeah, Rick Mahorn's another one. You want to be next? Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health, 844-789-8446. Get your customized approach to weight loss. 844-789-THIN. It's Custom Health Centers. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Lindsey Hunter in for D-Max and Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. Happy you guys are with us. And, we were just talking Bobby Wagner a little bit. We got a legend kill, a Sam Flannel legend kill coming up about Reggie Miller in a couple of minutes. But I did get asked the question, what's the most that you would pay Bobby Wagner? And I consulted with Spenmo, and I just like to mark it from time to time to see if I have a similar line of thinking. He's coming off a 5 at 50 deal. So he's coming off 10 million per. Probably in that neighborhood. Would you go 3 on it, Spenmo?
3 years?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's stretching it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's 32.
Yeah, but it's not guaranteed.
Well, I got a feeling it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? I got a feeling it's going to be. His last deal with the Rams was 5 at 50, 20 guaranteed.
See?
So, maybe half guaranteed or whatever. You can tack a couple void years on that.
I'd go 2 at 20. That's the highest I'd go probably.
So, you could massage that too to say 4 at 40.
Yeah.
20 guaranteed. It's essentially the same thing, and I can stretch the number out. So yeah, I in that framework, man. It's kind of what it is. And after that initial flurry, have we been surprised by the reduction in numbers in terms of the cut? Like what Hardman got, $6.5 million from the Jets.
Yep.
I think that was the number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised, Spenmo, about the little cut in numbers as of late?
No, I think it's starting to the market's fixing itself. You're not going to see Christian Kirk's getting $20 million a year and stuff like that. Every wide receiver that's signed has been, or the top 3 at least, where it was Jacoby Myers, Juju Smith-Schuster, and I can't remember Allen Lazard. They all got $11 million. So.
How is Juju Smith-Schuster a top receiver?
In this free agency, it was pretty dry.
It's a weak wide receiver free agency class. That's how.
It was pretty dry.
Did they just do that? Bill Belichick did that?
They did, man. Maybe he's losing it a little bit. I don't know. Man. Jack Harrington said, let's talk MSU. We're gonna get to that. We got that coming up in the second hour.
Yeah, we got to talk Reggie Miller though.
We do have to, and look, let's do that real quick. And for those of you that were just joining us here on Big D Energy, I brought up the fact, I said every championship team at some point gets a little fortunate, gets a little lucky. And once they get that break, they ride it through. That dynasty that was UNLV, they beat Ball State by like 2 points in the second round of the NCAA. That year they crushed Duke and did America a favor and beat Duke by 30. Remember that? They did America a favor that night. In that tournament run, they beat Ball State like 69-67
Who's on
or
that
something
Ball State
like that.
team?
I can't
Was
remember.
that Bonzi Wells?
Yeah, I can't remember if that was a Bonzi. But probably, right?
Yeah,
like that's
Bonzi was a monster.
Yeah, he was nice. That was the Max heyday back then.
He
Gary
was a
Trent,
monster.
Bonzi Wells, Zerbiak, all those cats. But anyway, we got to talking about it. And I brought it up to Lindsey. I said, you get moments of fortune, and Tayshawn's block against Reggie Miller, was a great play that was timely in a game that, if it goes the other way, things could be different. That's fair, Lindsey. I don't care what you say. I know you played in the game, but I don't care what you say. It's fair. It's fair to say that, Lindsey. Come on.
No, it's fair to say.
Okay.
Had he not been lackadaisical about dunking the ball, and Tayshawn splattered it against the glass, and Rip actually saved it, was even a bigger play of him.
People
saving
forget
it.
about that angle of it too. No,
and
things could have been different.
Yeah, things may have been different. We still would have won, but hey, it made it a little more different.
There you go. But we got to talking about it, and Sam Flannel brought this up before, and you know what? He's right. And
he's
Lindsey,
not right.
Lindsey, this is the one he's right about.
He's not
Wait
right,
till he
man.
breaks this down for you, Lindsey Hunter. So I bring to the
Pull your
center stage.
out and let me tap the calculator so we can see your little.
No, because this is accurate. This is on point. Reggie Miller, one of the more overrated players in NBA history. Calling to the center stage for tonight's legend killing, it's Sam Flannel. Sam, take it away.
Speaking of lucky, any team that got to play a Reggie Miller Pacers team in the playoffs, that's a lucky team. That is very, very lucky because Reggie Miller not only is overrated, he is the most overrated NBA player in history. For people who
thought that was Ben Wallace.
No, Reggie Miller tops it. Because Reggie Miller, when people talk about Reggie Miller, they talk about one of the superstars of the league that Michael Jordan prevented from winning a championship. He even has a goddamn documentary called Winning Time, which is an absolute farce, by the way. Reggie Miller, for his career, averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, and only made the All-NBA third team 3 times. No All-NBA first team, no All-NBA second team. He lost out to some All-NBA second teams to superstars such as Mitch Richmond,
Monster.
But Mitch Richmond isn't
Monster.
He's not talked about the way Reggie Miller is.
I don't care. He's a monster.
What about Rod Strickland and Tim
Monster,
Hardaway? They're
monsters.
good players. But Reggie Miller is acclaimed as some superstar, and that could not be further from the truth. All he was a damn good shooter. That's it. Not a superstar. I don't even think he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous all the acclaim he gets. You guys don't even know these numbers.
So Flannel.
Yes.
After we drug test you, I mean blood drug test. We don't do we doing blood. We're drawing blood because you are on some. I don't know what you're on, but it's strong. It's really strong. Like the stuff you're taking, I don't even have a clue. You're talking. So you're saying he's just a good shooter?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
He's one of the greatest shooters ever.
That's fair. That's it. Full stop.
Full stop.
After being one of the greatest shooters ever. Full stop.
You can be considered great at one thing and be an all-time great.
No, you can't. At something when your average.
So Ben Wallace is a great defender. He's an all-time great.
He's not an all-time great. Come on. Are you kidding me? What is the definition of all-time great?
He won Defensive Player of the Year 4 years in a row.
Hey, I'll tell you
4
what.
years.
That's better than
what have you done 4 years great?
That's better than
nothing. You haven't lived a good 4 years altogether. You've done nothing great for 4 years.
Hey guys, newsflash, everybody, newsflash.
But be a hater.
Ben Wallace is better at basketball than Sam Flannel. Oh my God! Let's all stop the presses right now.
I'm gonna go back to this. He's better at life than you.
He probably is. He is better at life than me. It's not even close. I'm just some guy behind a microphone, but still, I'm
you're
allowed to have
talking
my
about
opinion.
Reggie Miller.
You can't.
And so you're just gonna take out of context the fact that he played in an era where there were some bad boys.
Okay.
Like, because you're saying like Tim Hardaway was like a ham sandwich.
No.
And Mitch Richmond was like a
I'm not saying
tuna salad.
I will.
What are you talking about?
I will
Not
step
saying
with
that.
Sam Flannel on this one. Give me Mitch Richmond over Reggie Miller
That's what
any
I'm
day
saying.
of the week.
But
any day of the
Hey,
week.
and I'm a Mitch Richmond guy.
Yeah,
Mitch is
I am
my
too.
guy.
Mitch
but,
is
but,
awesome.
But you can't deny that Reggie Miller got his guys to the finals.
He got.
What
to
are
the
you
finals.
talking about?
And that
What
Lakers,
are you talking about?
Won finals, and that Lakers team was damn
Some
lucky.
people
they
don't
got,
get to the finals. Some people don't get there.
So what?
What do you mean, so what?
One
That's
finals.
hard to do. When the Lions been to the Super Bowl? Since we want to talk about, so what?
We're
When have the Lions been to the Super Bowl? It's hard as hell to get there.
I know.
It ain't just a walk in the park. You talking
Miller-
about this like it's this, you get to the finals, get to the Super Bowl. No, it's hard. People don't get there all the time.
Okay, but Reggie Miller is talked about like he's an all-time great. Getting to one finals is not that big. If he's so great.
So getting to one finals is not that big of a deal. Why haven't the Lions been to the Super Bowl if it's not that big of a deal?
We're not comparing Reggie Miller
But
and the
we're
Lions.
talking about getting to the pinnacle of what you do.
No one claims the Lions are top of the profession, though, like they do with Reggie
but
Miller.
he's acting like it's just a walk in the park to get to the finals.
I never said that.
You just did.
I never said that.
Big deal. He just got to the finals.
One finals when he was past his prime, by the way, just for the record.
What about this point here? WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Some people are with you on this one,
Thank
Sam
you.
Flannel. Dave Schultz says
They just don't like Reggie.
Reggie Miller only got famous because of Spike Lee. Honest Abe says Reggie Miller was nothing without Rick Smits. Rick Smits was a bad dude, man. I did like Rick Smits. If he had healthy feet, man, like a lot of big guys.
I like Rick Smith too, but let's not fool ourselves. Like Rick Smith was like the guy.
No, he was an.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy?
It was Reggie Miller.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, being the best player on a
That's
team.
all I needed to hear from you.
Damn, Lindsey.
Analytical guy.
I'll tell you what, man. You're like I get really, really annoyed with some of the old heads, which Lindsey, you technically are.
Yes, I am.
You
I
are
am
one
an
of
old
those
head. No, well, I embrace that, and I get irritated with young snotty-nosed kids like you that walk in here with a flannel shirt, wiping your arm on it, thinking you know basketball when you know nothing. Absolutely zero.
Can we at least
You
admit
can't
that-
even lace your shoes up the right way. And you sitting here
Damn.
talking about guys that do stuff that you dream about doing.
Yeah, I wish I were as good as. I wish.
And all those dreams are wet.
I wish I was as good as Reggie Miller. That's facts. Hey, if I had Reggie Miller's career, I'd be happy. We're not disputing
Happy
that.
if you had Reggie Miller's career.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
You'd be considered a superstar.
He's not a superstar. There's never a universe where he was a superstar in the NBA.
Did he play on a dream
18, 3-3 a game, man. Like
That's-
he's no Mitch Richmond.
You
dude.
can't even
he's no
refute
Mitch
that.
Richmond.
18, 3-3, no All NBA
So-
second teams. Never.
But you got to look at who was on those teams ahead of him, dude.
Okay.
You just don't say, "Oh, he just didn't make." It wasn't bums ahead of him. These
Mitch
guys were ballers.
Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, and Rod Strickland are not all-time greats. They're
So Tim Hardaway's not a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer, yes.
Oh, well, he's an all-time great.
Oh my God. But
What are we talking about here? You just said he's not an all-time great. He's a Hall of Famer.
See, I don't. For me, like I don't put Reggie Miller in the Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond class either. Like I don't think
not a
he's
Hall of
those
Famer?
dudes. He had moment, like he had those playoff moments. Those moments were very, very
Dude,
good to him.
let me help
dude.
you guys. Averaging 18 in the NBA is not a
it's
walk in the park.
No
it's
doubt.
not Hall of Fame.
No doubt.
It's not a walk in the park.
God.
Okay, dude?
So what? 18 points
What
is
did you average in any league?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Oh,
because
so
I
can't-
want you to try to understand how hard it is to put up those type of numbers.
You know what,
Because you're sitting here like, oh, that doesn't matter. Who else averaged 18? Look down the list.
Oh, many.
Your guy, hey. So you think like some of the old heads, I don't even know if you agree with some of the old heads being great because you snotty nosed kids like you don't do that. They just look at what they see in front of them. They look at numbers and think that, oh, these numbers mean that Reggie Miller was a bum.
Never said he was a bum.
You might as well.
Great shooter.
You might as well say he's a bum.
You know what? We were talking about the
Oh, my
NBA.
goodness.
Here's what we should do. We should all leave the stage and only let you, Lindsey Hunter, and maybe we can go recruit Chauncey Billups or Ben Wallace to go join the show, and we should all just leave. Me, Spenny, and Neal Ruhl.
Basically.
That's what we should do because we should never be allowed to have an opinion.
Just you. Not everybody, just you.
Oh man, that was everything I thought it would be. That was everything I thought it would be. We all got what we wanted. We all got what we wanted here today. There were a couple that were in Sam Flannel's corner, but Jeremy Anderson said Lindsey killing him right now. Kyle Stark says I'm with the OG on this one. Icon says I love Lindsey. Gam Channel says get him, champ. Daniel Clemenceau says there's a difference between Hall of Famer and all-time great, and that is fair. That's fair. You know what else is fair? If it's lunchtime. If you had a lunchtime Hall of Fame or a food Hall of Fame, they are both in the Hall of Fame and an all-time great.
First ballot.
First ballot.
That is Cousins Maine Lobster. They're in the lunchtime Hall of Fame for sure because Cousins Maine Lobster brings the best of the Maine coast to Detroit. Try the variety of sweet, succulent Maine lobster menu items. And there are 2 food trucks rolling around the city. You can find their event scheduled on cousinsmainelobster.com and through their mobile app where you can easily order ahead and earn rewards. So make sure you scan that app right there and go try some Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Guardian Alarm is here for you. They offer customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and know a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserve technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care and care about Sam Flannel's flannels, even if he doesn't think Reggie Miller is good at basketball. How many straight days of flannel protection is it?
239.
239. So call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
One more time. Call them at 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the Hall of Fame, Reggie Miller. Why don't you make an All-NBA second team, and maybe then you can have that question.
Oh wow.
Stay out of the people's. Hey, all the people stay out. The people that are slandering Rick Smith, saying he's not goated on the sticks.
I'm going to stay out of this argument because I like Reggie Miller. And that is Guardian Alarm, so give them a call when you need help with your defense.
Man, people being real dismissive of the dunking Dutchman. That's all I have to say. He's catching a lot of strays, and I'm not for that. Welcome to hour number 2 of Big D Energy. A lot of Big D Energy here, especially in that last segment. My name is Neal Ruhl. Lindsey Hunter, NBA world champion, here in for DMAC today. That's how we keep it pushing here. We take out one champion, put in another champion. Sam Flannel, he's certainly not the people's champion right now. And we also have Spen Morax. Remember, subscribe to the podcast, Big D Energy Podcast, on iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe there. WoodwardSports.com chat thread as we pick up the pieces from that epic heavyweight battle. Dan G says, that's a good idea, Sam. You should leave. So there's that. Ryan says they both got good shots in. So there you go. You know, I thought you held your own.
Difference is Flannel can't shoot.
Yeah, that is a difference.
No, I cannot.
D Eagle 313. Can't believe you guys are trying to put up this argument with Lindsey. Justin Station, and I said this, and I got to keep true to it, that these types of comments go right to the front of the line. Who would argue with someone that played in the NBA about the sport they played in? Bozo. So there's that as well.
So someone put up some good stats. They said, can you name the 9 guys that were in the 50-40-90 club?
No, I mean, Steve Nash was one of them. I think Ray Allen
he's
probably
pretty good,
did.
right?
Steph Curry.
Oh, those guys are pretty good.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird.
Oh, wow. Those guys are pretty good.
No, Reggie Miller did have a 50-40-90 season. Spectacular. He was a great shooter.
Sam, you didn't even make the argument that most people make, is that Reggie Miller wasn't even the best basketball player in his own family.
Oh, yeah, Cheryl.
I mean, if you're into goated, if you're into being goated on the sticks, that's not an argument. Who's more accomplished?
I mean, Cheryl is arguably the best female basketball player ever.
Right.
Yeah. Easily.
No cap. No cap. So there's
bucket.
A walking bucket, no question about it. So there is that as well. So yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun to sit here and chop that up with you guys. And hey, that's how it goes. You know what else too? Going back to the Lions discussion. And remember, we coined the phrase "Stoked Not Scared." That's a Darren McCarty original. Because, Lindsey, if you missed
Stoked Not Scared! Stoked Not Scared! Stoked Not Scared!
All right.
Stoked Not Scared!
Earlier in the week, Lindsey, I kind of confided in everybody. I laid down on the couch, and I just kind of let loose a little bit to everybody, to the Big D Energy audience. And I said, I'm not comfortable with all this. I'm admitting I'm not comfortable with all this discussion about the Lions, all these expectations, the moves they're making, and I'm not comfortable about it because it's new. It's like, as someone said in the chat, Lindsey, it's like when someone walks on your lawn. You get upset, right? Because you're an old, quote, old head. Right. No, but seriously, though, I'm not comfortable with it. And I'm honest about it. I can be vulnerable with the audience. I'm a grown man. I'm comfortable with myself. I can do that. Now, and it's getting worse. I did. You're absolutely right. I'm scared. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Uncomfortable, scared, whatever word you want to use. Now you got like Rich Eisen out there. Kyle Brandt's out. Like national NFL dudes are up there. They're the chic thing. Like they're the style thing. They're the people's champion this year. Lindsey, how about you? Does this make you nervous like me? How honest are you, Lindsey?
No, why would so let me get a good understanding.
Yes.
You're nervous at the fact that expectations have been placed on the Lions?
And they're so astronomically, I'll go through the checklist. They're the betting favorite to win their division by far, which means people expect a home playoff game. And if you have a home playoff game, you expect to win. You do. You expect to win a playoff game. Now, these are the baseline expectations I feel everybody has now. Like, it's go time. The signings, all that stuff, it's go time.
Right.
There is no backtracking now. And I'm keeping receipts of everybody, too, is where this is full-on expectation. No, you can't. You all can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. All of you out there, you guys, you can't do that. I don't want to hear it. If they're 1-4, I don't want to hear you all pop up and say, "Well, I told you they weren't ready yet this year." No.
Listen.
And I'm not calling for that either. I am with you guys. I'm just being honest about it. That I'm nervous about it. So again. Going back to it, these are the baseline expectations. If they are not met, it's a failure. When I say it out loud, does that change your mind at all?
No, because I'm a Lions fan because I've lived here so long, so I really always, and I get to know the guys, so I always want them to do well for the team, the players. So a couple of my close friends are Lions diehards. My buddy Daryl Davis.
Lions fans.
Yeah.
And I'm always picking at him. So every year I look at him and I go, 8-8.
Yeah, right.
And it just ticks him off and he goes over the edge. So I'm not like, I think you should embrace it. Like, embrace the challenge. Like, you got to think that you're going to win it. You got to feel like, hey, this is our year. Like, this is the time we're breaking through. We're going to win the division. We're going to get a home playoff game. We're going to win it. I think you embrace it.
Let me turn it around then, Lindsey. Man, Sandy giving Lindsey applause right now. The Stoked Not Scared. Okay, then let me turn it around. Mm-hmm. So you can take it, right? If Lucy pulls the football away again,
hey,
you can take it, and you're fine with it.
Look, I thought my team was going to win the Super Bowl, the 49ers. We get all the way there, and Brock Purdy hurts his elbow with the first series. Lucy pulled the football away.
Right.
We fell right on our heads. And I just sat there and I took it. I'm like, you know what? We're done.
Right, but you've and look, you've been a 49ers guy as long as since you were a kid.
Yes.
And as long as I've known you going on 10 years now. Like, you've always been a 49ers guy. But Lindsey, this is where you can't relate. It doesn't compute with you because you've seen it. It's happened. You've won. There's things you can look back at. You've been a competent organization in the past. You've made good moves. You've been to the mountaintop. You played in big games. You've won divisions. You've done all that. You've done all that. We have done nothing of that, Lindsey.
But
nothing.
But you got to start watching the trends. You guys are trending. You're making the right moves. You got a GM that everybody's behind and trust. His moves have been solid. You can't question what he's done so far, right? Right?
No. I've championed. Yeah,
exactly.
I got the flag.
Right. So, so you're trending in the right direction. So you have to go with it. You have to, hey, we're going to win. It's either all or nothing right now. You can't say, man, this is looking too good to be true. Maybe we're going to be 8-8 again.
This is going to be a good discussion.
You can't fall back that way. You got to fall in. You got to fall all in. Take the nesty plunge.
This is off the board, and I think this is a follow-up segment to earlier in the week. But I'm turning it on you guys. Everyone went at me and said, "Hey, Stoked Not Scared." D-Mac drew a silly little sign and all that stuff. And people are in the studio audience today. Stoked Not Scared. Okay, I'm putting it back on you when we come back. Now it's my turn. It's my turn to cross-examine. And we're going to discuss it after I tell you about Big Boy. Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. All the Lent favorites are available to you. The shrimp Alfredo, the shrimp stir fry, and the all-new fish sandwich as well. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday nights. You have my permission. Get tartar sauce for your fries, too, if you want. That's what I would do. I'm just saying. And by the way, too, you got to drop the lemon juice on the fish. It sets it off. Jada Pinkett. All right, but hey, Big Boy, Seafood Fest. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. And while you're at it, you can pick up the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal Tan, and Spencer Raxter's personal favorite, the Swedish Beauty Lotions.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. That's the website. Over 27 locations. More on the way. Find out which one works best for you. Chili Peppers Tanning. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest hands. They are your vitamin D headquarters.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Of course. Back at it, Neal Ruhl. Lindsey Hunter in for D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar. Here with you, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, D. Smitty. Neal's not used to the Lions making competent football moves. And it's not that, because no one's been a bigger simp for Brad Holmes than me. I'm honest about it. And it took one draft. It took one draft pick for me to know. It's on. Here we go. But as we navigate through this process, and you got the Rich Eisens and the Kyle Brandts and all the national media, the Lions are the sexy pick. Every year you see that sexy pick. It's the Lions now. And I'm not comfortable with it all. And Lindsey's trying to empathize, and I appreciate him, and that's what makes him a good friend. He's trying to empathize with me. But his cross comparisons don't work. As a lifelong 49ers fan, you can't replicate hunger, Lindsey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't replicate it. You've ate at the table. You're full. You've taken a box home before and ate it the next day for lunch too. We have been in the streets the whole time, battling for every little crumb that we get.
But that makes it even better because you guys are really hungry now. Like
100%.
You guys are like starving to have a winner, and it's starting to happen. It's happening right before your eyes, and you can't shy away from it and think that, man, this is too good to be true. No, it's happening. You got to embrace it. You got to embrace it. You got to support the guys that are being, they're coming into town. You got to support the draft picks. You got to support it and be 100%.
Well, it's different because you got to support it because there's data that shows you that he took dudes. Like, there are dudes on this team now, which I'm with.
Right.
We're all together at this point. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chuck Brewer. Truth. Neal might leave his wife and kids for Brad. If he has another, he has another 5-hitter in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, the grass is greener. Yeah, I'll have to tell Sylvia to step her draft game up.
but think about it. It's exciting times around here because I've never been around here and heard talk like this.
No. Okay, so you can relate. Okay, great. This is common ground that we have right now.
Yeah.
Todd Sane says, Neal, sack up, bro. Okay, Todd. Todd, you specifically then. Okay, Todd. What if they flame out? So, and I got a feeling, Todd, you'll be the first one that I told you guys that this wasn't real. I told you guys. No, you're all in. Everybody's all in. All of you with the Stoked Not Scared.
Stoked Not Scared.
Yeah, they spend all of you, Todd Sane, everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. All of you that are all about this, then if it doesn't work, I don't want to hear from you. So then these chat threads and phone lines and all of it, it'll be real quiet come then, right? No one will have anything to say, right? No one will say anything.
But Neal, you know how fragile winning and losing is, right? You know it's just you're one step away from either being a Super Bowl contender or, falling off the map. One wrong thing that happens, your quarterback goes down or something happens. It's a fragile line, man. But while you're building that statue of being a champion, you have to be all in. You have to be like, hey, there's always in the back of your mind, there's a little fear that, man, maybe we'll be 8-8 again. But then you have to still say, but we're building a team that looks like we're going to be 13-3, right? Right, Flannel?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I am stoked, but I also empathize with Neal when it comes to this regard. I want to take you guys back to a time in very, very distant past, November 5th, 2021. That was the Saturday before the Lions played the Green Bay Packers at home. At the time, the Lions were 1-6. We were talking about firing Dan Campbell. We were talking about tanking. We were talking about that this was going to be an absolute disaster. And the whirlwind that has happened since then, where they finished the season 8-2, they've had a phenomenal offseason, and the draft hasn't even come here yet. Now we're talking about division champs. We're talking about if they don't win a playoff game, it's a complete failure.
They're not just talking about it. We expect it.
Yes.
And somebody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread here, DNCENT, says the reality of the situation is we likely aren't winning a chip. And I'm not even talking about that. Sam, the cover charge to get in the club is a playoff win in a division championship this year.
Yes.
According to everybody.
Yes.
Right? I'm looking for some consistency from everybody. And if it doesn't happen, I want to see your Stoked Not Scared signs. And I want to see you guys do all this stuff again. Keep it 100 with me, everybody. Like, keep it consistent.
If it doesn't happen, it's a failure.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen, we just have to live in it. We have to just say the Detroit Lions failed. I mean, obviously there's external factors such as, God forbid, Jared Goff goes down or something like that.
Right.
But
Obviously.
But even if they don't win the division and make the playoffs, that's not a failure, guys. If they make the playoffs, that's not a failure.
It's funny, Lindsey, I'm going to piggyback off of that because the Lions, despite having that great finish to the season, they did not make the playoffs last season.
They did not.
I mean, us Lions fans, we haven't experienced the playoffs since the 2016 season, haven't won a playoff game since 1991. So even making the playoffs, it would be an accomplishment. It's just how far everything has been accelerated with the great draft last year, with the great offseason. We're going from not making the playoffs last season to thinking we're going to be in the NFC Championship game.
People are betting it.
I was -5 when the Lions won their last playoff game.
I was less than 2 months old, actually.
I wasn't a thought in my dad's balls yet. Like, it was...
Construction hadn't even begun on the DNA.
No.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Three of me and two of my siblings hadn't been born yet. We're all 2 years apart.
The Rackster clan hadn't even been united at the time.
There was two Racksters.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Paul Thomas. See, Paul Thomas he said, next step, get to the playoffs. That's all.
That's
okay.
it.
So then, Paul, you have the right then. If it all goes south, you can say, hey, I was honest about it. I'm scared, guys. Like, yes, and look. The Ron in 99. My God, isn't this what you guys effing wanted? Yeah, until I got it.
Hey, man, look, embrace it, man. Hey, you can't walk in this thing and thinking, okay, is this a little too much right now? But realistically.
But I'm not wrong, Lindsey.
No,
I'm a
you're
human
not.
being that's been through some stuff.
Right, you're
Stoked Not
traumatized.
Scared.
I understand. You have the right. The trauma that you've experienced with the Lions.
Thank you.
I
See?
get it. I get it.
That's why we talk it through.
When they were Dead Wings.
And that is true. I know we've lived it with the Red Wings. You're right, Sandy.
get it.
Dead Wings, yeah. Stoked Not Scared. Yeah. I get all of it.
The Teal Pistons.
Oh, my God. You know what? That falls into the Joe Dumars argument, too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
Because, like, I'm a huge Joe Dumars guy.
Right.
Huge. 3 championships the organization. 2 as a player, 1 as a GM.
Right.
Took us from teal uniforms to an NBA championship.
Yes.
Lindsey.
Brutal.
That's what he did. Total reconstruction. And everyone just says, well, he traded for Allen Iverson, not understanding the business end of what was going down with the franchise. That a lot of people are seeing right now play out with the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
They can't just go get Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Because they're in the process of selling the team.
Right.
You can't acquire a $250,000 debt and ask for the same amount of money for an asset.
Exactly.
It's business 101. But anyway, I digress. It's just it's a human reaction that I think I am well within my right to be. So for all you Stoked Not Scared animals out there, I'm a human being. Right. That's seen some things, that's been through some things, and I think it's fair to be apprehensive. That's all.
No, it is. You have the right to be apprehensive and the right to think that, hearing all these people say win the division and have a home playoff game, like, yeah, that's a bit much. Hey, let's make the playoffs. Can we start there? Can we make the playoffs first?
Playoffs?
We make the playoffs. Then we win.
Lindsey, Stoked Not Scared.
Stoked Not Scared.
NFC Championship game. Like, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that's those guys.
12-5, win the division, win the home playoff game by 44 points. Get to the NFC Championship. That's what I'm told, right? That's what it is. That's the flat line. That's the baseline expectation. Right, Sam Flannel?
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, if you are going into the playoffs as a division winner, you're going to get a home playoff game. And one of the worst things that you can do is get upset in the playoffs at home. So even if they get there, if they say lose in the division round, or God forbid they lose in the wild card round if they don't have that good of a record, it will be considered, and I will have to live in this too. I will be like, it was a failure, because I have also sort of piggybacked the whole Stoked Not Scared thing. Although I do understand your apprehension. It's a lot. It's a whirlwind that we, as Detroit sports fans, have never experienced. Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying make the playoffs first before we start saying winning the division and having a home playoff. Make the playoffs. Can we do that first? When we
No, Lindsey. No. Division championship, home playoff game victory, NFC championship appearance. That's... this is what you guys are telling me.
Not the NFC Championship. That's
what everybody's betting on, Spenny. That's what I was told.
That is not the baseline.
What's the baseline?
Winning the division. I fully expect them to win the division this year.
And win a playoff game.
A playoff game.
That's the baseline?
That is my baseline.
That's your cover charge to get in the club.
If that does not happen next year, it's a failure.
Ooh, that doesn't include a Jaeger bomb or a lap dance or any of that stuff. That's just your price to get in the club.
I'm sober right now. Yeah, that's all it takes.
That's a lot, man.
That's
I'm
what you
thinking
got.
playoffs, like, because you hadn't made the playoffs. Let's make the playoffs first. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, WoodwardSports.com chat thread in all caps. This is the first and last time that I admit Neal is right. You take a lot of L's then, Michael, I guess, but that's all right. Yeah, we all have trust issues. DNCNT, we all have trust issues from past relationships. I mean, I just feel like I'm sitting at the window waiting for Dad to come back after he went out to get milk 25 years ago. There's I'm getting that kind of vibe right now. And I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying my environment has created this. We're products of our environment, right?
Yes.
That's what happens.
No, that's fair
to us.
because you've suffered for so many years. You've suffered through mediocrity for so many years that you're a little shell shocked. So
okay,
hey, but I think you're taking the right approach. Let's win a playoff game. Let's get to the playoffs. If we can get to the playoffs, then we'll have an opportunity to win a playoff game. It's a bit much to ask to win the division. I mean, if they can win the division, that's great. Icing on the cake. But let's get to the playoffs first.
Okay. That's it. Jack Harrington says, from a Patriots fan, embrace it, Neal. Jack, you're a valued member of the Big D Energy community. You've been here since the beginning. You know I ride with you. You know I vibe with you. You have no frame of reference to this. It's the when Dave Portnoy and I got in that little spat on social media. It's the exact same situation. You have no frame of reference. You are not qualified to speak on this.
He's a Patriot fan?
Yeah.
Oh, they only had the greatest quarterback ever
You're
to walk
not
the face of the earth.
or the luckiest quarterback, depending on who you talk.
Can't be lucky that much.
No. Yeah. Hey,
impossible.
We should all be lucky enough in our life to have Swiss insurance.
Absolutely, because Swiss Insurance gives you all kinds of insurance, everything you can want. Be sure to check in for your commercial insurance review. And if you need to contact them, easy. Email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Back at it, coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Lindsey Hunter in for D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Big D Energy podcast from Woodward Sports. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you can jump in and scoop those up. They go right to your phone, rewind, fast forward, all that kind of stuff. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump in there like Jeremy Anderson did. Says, Neal, what was the whole Neal and Portnoy thing? I want to hear about that. You can Google it. It was on Google and all that kind of stuff. News organizations wrote a thing about it, which I didn't understand, but they did. All I said was, Aiden Hutchinson's a second overall pick. He's got to get to the quarterback. That's all I said. That was all I said.
Michigan fans get butthurt really easily, so I'm not surprised.
It was true.
That was unnecessary, Spenny, but that's okay.
Anyway, though, speaking of statehood and state allegiances, if you're a college basketball fan, there's only one fan base in the state that is still alive, and the Sweet 16 tips off tonight. Michigan State, the first game, they are mixing it up here tonight against Kansas State. Tip time at 6:30. There'll be the CBS game as well. So before, Lindsey and I kind of get in the weeds about it, we have a varying. the core of our discussion we are the same on. The delivery of it, I think we have a little bit of a difference on. I see the game going one way. You kind of see it going another way. Your reasons are correct. My reasons are correct, but that's why we got to see it how it plays out. But we have to go to Spenmo.
Yes.
Because Sam Flannel, you can just take this segment off because we're talking about teams in the NCAA tournament. So, Spenmo. You stoked not scared, right? Final four or bust?
No.
Stoked not scared.
That's not
Stoked
how
not
this
scared.
works.
Tom Izzo.
It
Stoked not scared.
It is not equatable. It is not equatable.
What are you talking about?
It is not equatable.
Stoked not scared.
There are different situations at play.
So is it national championship or bust this year?
No.
Final four or bust?
No.
Beat Alabama or bust?
No.
Nothing or bust?
Yes. They're playing with house money. Like,
because nobody expected them to get this
expected
far.
them to be this far. I didn't expect them to be this far. This is not a great team, and they're out there and they've been playing absolutely fantastic defense these first two games against USC and Marquette. You can't be a top 5, top 10 three-point shooting team in the country and go 2 for 16 and expect to win, which is what MSU is and what they did against Marquette. So they need to shoot the ball better for sure. You always hear guard play when you get to the NCAA tournament. Michigan State has 3 legit guards, and they've been playing very well. Tyson Walker is a guy that can go out there and get a bucket. AJ Hoggard runs the offense very well. Jaden Aiken has stepped his game up and has been yamming on people in the tournament. So I love to see that. They're going to need to continue to do that. But it's all about Kansas State and slowing them down. They play at a ridiculously fast pace, so that's going to be tough. Michigan State can't try to get in a track meet with them. They have to play their own game. And it's about Noel and Keontae Johnson. Like, those are the two guys. That is where Kansas State starts and ends, is with those two guys. So if you can get one of them into foul trouble, if you can limit one of the usage on one of them, then you have a good chance. But it all boils down to, are they going to make their three-point shots or not? Because if they don't make their three-point shots against this team, they're not going to win.
Because when you struggle to make shots, you go into scoring slumps.
Yes.
And here's where I am with it. And this is accurate. And I'll go around the house to the side door, but trust me, I'll get there. I'll get in the kitchen. All right. There is a lot of vibe to me that is similar to the Michigan TCU football game in the college football playoff, right? Because we don't know about Kansas State. I feel like from time to time we're kind of dismissive of that. But here's where it's similar. Because this is the structure of the game, pace. Spenny brought up pace. Kansas State's in the top 40 in America in pace in terms of possessions per game. We have seen them struggle to shoot the basketball. Now, they've survived. Yep. They have, and give them credit. They found a way to win. I'll never be critical for winning in a tournament setting, because all you got to do is be 1 point better and you move on, and that's it. For me, though, the concern is you go through a stretch like that where you're 1 of 10 from 3. The problem is if you go 1 of 10 from 3 in that stretch, that's probably only going to be a 3 to 4 minute stretch of the game, to whereas before it's a 5 to 6 minute stretch of the game. Kansas State's going to go. And they're looking to go. And, right, Sam Flannel, when we talked about it from the football perspective, because there are similarities here, you were dismissive of it, the pace of the game. And we saw that, right? We saw TCU kind of push that pace out in that football game. Tons of plays, quick, everything going. And there is an angle of that in this game, Sam Flannel. Who's going to win the pace battle? Because if Kansas State wins a pace battle, they're going to win.
Yeah, if Kansas State wins the pace battle, they're going to win. The one thing that concerns me about Michigan State, and I said this, and I brought this up to you, Neal, before the show. Michigan State won a game by 9 in which they shot 2 of 16 from 3. I think that with all of their three-point shooters who have been shooting the ball well throughout the season, there's going to be an aggression to the mean where they shoot it better this time. But if Kansas State is also a team with their 2 guards, Noel and Keontae Johnson, that can blitz you right off the bat, all of a sudden go on a quick 10-12-0 run, and then the game is over pretty much. So I'm hoping that Kansas State can play their game. It can turn into a bit of a track meet. But still, Michigan State, they're that thorn in my side. They scare me just because it's another lesser talented Tom Izzo team that's making a run. And man, and you know what, Spenny? I know I'm being a hypocrite because my team was in the NIT, but I'm just going to say this. There are very, very few things I enjoy more in life than watching Tom Izzo lose. Watching Tom Izzo and his pain face and all of his crying and whining on the sideline, watching him lose. It has to happen. Because if they make the Final Four, I might actually keel over in this booth. It can't happen. I think Kansas State's going to win. I think the matchup favors them, but you just never know in the tournament.
Well, who's actually favored in this game?
Michigan State by 1.5.
Oh, are they?
They are. I have some thoughts on that coming up in just a little bit. No, but Lindsey, again, just to let everybody inside the discussion that we were having, right, where this has been Michigan State's DNA forever.
Yes.
Like, you make these things a street fight.
Yes.
And just a slow down, ugly. I mean, even back in the Flintstone days, like Michigan State, Wisconsin in the Final Four, and it's 18-14 at halftime and stuff like that. That's going to be the way that they want to operate. I will say this, to where when I talk about Kansas State's pace and the number of possessions they play and the speed in which they get shots up during possessions, I will say this. I've been around enough basketball games to know there is an inherent advantage for the team that wants to slow pace down because the shot clock's 30 seconds.
Right.
So, just from that standpoint, Lindsey, I will give you that. It is easier for Michigan State to get the game the way they want it than Kansas State the way they want it.
Absolutely. And the thing that, watching both teams play, I've watched them throughout the season. Michigan State, with their guard play, when they're on top of their games, when those guys are hitting shots or getting to the lane and driving and kicking, they're really, really good. And they can control the pace of the game when those guys are on their, on top of their games. If they're making shots, even more so, because that negates everything. Regardless of how fast you want to play, if they're making shots, they're going to slow you down because you're taking that ball out the nets now.
Right, and you can't go.
And you can't go. So it's going to be – I think it's going to be a great game. I think Michigan's going to go in with the same attitude they always have. We're going to make it a brawl. You guys want to get out in a track meet, but we're going to turn this into a brawl. And we'll see who can impose their will.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread Ransom says, Spence, have a box of tissues for you next to the game. So, there's –
I said it's house money. Like I don't understand what you guys enjoy not being in the NIT anymore. Like enjoy losing in the,
no,
in the second round.
No, you don't know that he's a Michigan fan, Spenmo.
Fucking goddamn, that shit pisses me off.
There's this one too. Philip C says Neal knows nothing. He's a basketball announcer and a low draft pick at that. So there's that one as well. But I'm curious to know where the people are at it. See, because here's the thing with me. As far as Michigan State goes, and Spenmo, you and I talked about this because I remember when Oakland played Michigan State this year, and they got out of the barn for like a 7-minute stretch to start the second half, and that's where they ran away from Oakland. But my takeaway from that was this team needs Malik Hall.
Yeah, and
as sexy as Tyson Walker is, and he's a great player. And by the way, it was obtained through the transfer portal as well. That's the way it works. But as sexy as he is, and he is a very, very good player.
Yes.
I've had people that worked at Northeastern when he was
He hits tough shots.
Yes, shots. He's a shot maker. Malik Hall holds the keys to the car. Now, look, if you get good Matty Sissoko, that helps you. But walking into this game, you don't know what you're getting from him tonight, right?
Yeah,
is that fair?
That's fair.
You are legit flipping the Matty Sissoko coin every game. So you don't know what's going to happen. If he rises up to the challenge, certainly that helps things. But Malik Hall if Malik Hall plays good, you guys will win.
Yeah, and that's what it was. That's what it was going into the season. And he started that way. He started hot and then obviously dealt with injuries, and he really hasn't got back to that because at the beginning of the year, coming into the season, he was the best defender on the team. He could defend multiple positions. He was the guy that if you needed a bucket, you'd throw it into him and he'd go get his own bucket. Right. He was hitting turnaround jumpers. He was taking it off the dribble. And I love that, but like as much as you need Malik Hall, you can't have him shoot 7 shots in the first half. Like against Marquette, he had 7 shots, and nobody else had more than 3.
And Spenny, here's the thing. I'll flip that around, Lindsey, as you the coach, a Division I basketball coach, NBA coach. When you get in this pace, if Kansas State's able to pick up that pace and make it move, you can do that and not even know you're doing it.
Absolutely,
you can get swallowed up.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about you talk about somebody else taking shots. When you're playing at a hectic pace, it's harder to dictate where your shots come from. So the ball may end up in a guy's hands that you necessarily don't want taking that amount of shots, but it happens. You just have to You just have to hope that he's a guy that can make some shots. So it opens up everybody else. But to me, I think the key is Jaden Akins. I think if Jaden can explode and have a big game, which he's more than capable of, like he's a kid that can get on a roll and get going. And if he can't get on a roll this game, they can win it.
Let me ask you about Jaden Akins real quick, Lindsey, in that there's talk like with this Michigan State roster, he's probably the only NBA quote-unquote prospect on this Michigan State roster, like the best hopes for a league guy on this roster. You've seen this in the past, right, where I don't want to call him like a fringe league guy or anything like that, but there's a lot on the line for him tonight, and if they win in the next game. And you know what I'm talking about when I say there's a lot on the line for him.
Absolutely.
You see guys step up, and he's the wild card to me, because I'm glad you brought that up, because at some point he's got to show that, right? And he's got to show that in a big moment. And when this season ends, he's got a decision to make, right? Like he'll go to his people and say, hey, where do I fit? And Michigan fans are not qualified to comment on the Jaden Akins NBA deal, because you guys all talked about like Caleb Houston and things. Oh, he should come back definitely. And then he got a guaranteed contract, and you were wrong because he got
second round picks,
yeah.
just for the record.
But he got to get he got his bag guaranteed. Sure. So it was the right play. Yeah. It was the right play. He got the checks to prove it, man. It was the right play.
There's no argument for him.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
But anyway though, am I reading that right? To me, for Michigan State, he's the biggest wild card that I think even Michigan State fans, I want to say they sleep on him a little bit, but as you look at this game, I think Michigan State fans are sleeping on him, because if he erupts, that is what they can bring to the table. That's the one thing that Kansas State can't bring to the table.
Exactly. And I think because he was subpar last game, he was okay. If he can come out and have one of those eruptions and just knock down shots, get to the basket, do what he does, it changes the whole composure of the game. And then it won't matter the pace. Because if you got a guy that can dominate and get buckets, then the pace don't matter, because he's dominating on one end, and then you got Walker and the other guys who are continuing to do what they do.
If anything, it only gets him in his bag more.
Exactly.
Yeah, because of the rhythm. It becomes a rhythm game. So.
Also, I just pray to God. he comes back. I expect him to come back.
Well, I think he will. I think he will, because I don't think he's had the type of year. But he's been injured off and on.
He hasn't had the showcase.
Yeah, he hadn't had the type of
usage.
And next year,
next year he'll be
Xavier Booker, Colin Carr, Jeremy Fears. You throw Jaden Akins in there. Hogarth's probably staying.
You getting this, Sam Flannel?
Hey,
he's
it sounds
going
like
all
the type of team that will lose in round 2 of the tournament, like the Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson team.
Hey, at least they'll make the tournament.
Hey, Michigan's in some danger. Hunter Dickinson better come. I hope he comes back.
No,
he's coming back because he's not going to
What
the
else
league.
is he going to do? Where's he going to go?
I mean, he might
China
get like a undrafted free agent.
Turkey,
Shanghai Sharks.
Yeah,
he wouldn't play in China.
Tigers.
For real, Lindsey.
No,
he wouldn't play in China.
No, he can make it in NBA. Yeah, he can.
Who's he going to guard? You are what you can guard in the NBA, Lindsey, as you know. You are what you can guard. Who can he guard in the league?
That is
Come
absolutely true, but yet and still, there's always room for a 7-footer who can step out and make shots. Because you can talk that guard who you can guard. I haven't seen Luka. Luka can't guard me right now.
Correct.
So, and the big guy, the two-time MVP, he's not tearing the fences down guarding anybody either.
But I mean, Luka Garza couldn't make it in the NBA, and he had a much better college career than Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, but Luka Garza, I don't think they're different. They're different type of players. I think Hunter Dickinson, I think he can do more. I think he can be an NBA center, because he can. I like him.
I mean, he could. I think he could too if he were playing for the Minneapolis Lakers. I think he could be a center then.
Hey, he could be an NBA G League center.
We're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. You guys already know. I was getting it in this morning on the treadmill, and you can do that at Planet Fitness because there's tons of equipment at Planet Fitness. You're not sitting around waiting for stuff, hoping somebody's not going to be on the stuff you want to do. An army of cardio equipment out there. You will never wait for cardio equipment at a Planet Fitness. $10 a month, access to your home club. That's a deal in and of itself. You guys are in the gym game, you know. Don't be paying $50, $60, $70 a month for a gym membership because of a rock wall. Okay? You're never going to use a rock wall, number one. Number two, why would you spend money unnecessarily? That's where Planet Fitness comes in. Black card option, you want to own the place, you want to be a baller, shot caller, $24.99 a month as well. Unlimited use of the amenities, unlimited guest privileges as well, and access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses around the world. Want to become a member? Pull in the parking lot. You'll pass a couple on the way home. Or go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. All right, we promised it here in the show. My name is Neal Ruhl, Lindsey Hunter in for Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. We'll give it a test run, everybody. 313-552-6322. You want to call the show about anything? Call about anything. Ask anything you want to ask. Lindsey, myself, Spenmo, Sam Flannel, whatever you want to do. 313-552-6322. Well, we're going to open lines right now on Big D Energy. So the lines are open. Give us a call. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chuck Brewer says Sam Flannel and that other Hunter are both bozos.
God. You know what? And I know that it was just a side comment, and Chuck Brewer has been one of the biggest perpetuators of this. I'm getting a little bit fed up with the Hunter Dickinson slander. You know how I know if you're a Michigan basketball casual if you just say this whole season was Hunter Dickinson's fault? He put the team on his back in the last 4 games, giving you 26 and 12 on 60% shooting. And throughout the year, he gave you 18 and 9 on 56% and 42% from the 3. He did his job. He had some off games. He had some judgment issues, I would say, off the court issues, but he's a damn good college player.
I mean, he's a great college player. Absolutely. His problem is he only has 1 T in his name.
Here's the thing. I think I don't understand the slander either, because when you get a 7-footer, and I'm looking at people, I was actually a scout in the NBA, so I think I know a little bit about scouting talent.
Yeah.
You get a 7-footer that can step out and shoot the ball like this kid can. That gives him an opportunity, and the way the game is played now with space and pace, you don't get guys that size, that's got the skill set that he has. You watch him, with turnaround jumpers, face-up jumpers, all that type of stuff. He can do that, and that's what the NBA is predicated off now, is playing with people that create space, right? He can do that.
No, for sure. He can, and again, great college player. Yep.
Yeah,
there's no shame in that. There are tons of people that are like that.
Right.
You guys talked about it. Luka Garza is another one. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Brandon Katz says Frank Kaminsky shot the 3 very well in college. He's horrible in the NBA.
Yeah, but people are misunderstanding what it is to be an NBA player. It doesn't mean he'll be a star. It doesn't mean he may not even play a lot, but that doesn't mean he's not an NBA player.
Right.
There's levels to everything. Like you can't say a guy, he's not an NBA player because he's not, playing 20 minutes a game. No, if he can make a team, he's an NBA player.
Oh, trust me, I'm not one to defend Frank Kaminsky. He's one of my least favorite college players ever. But he was a upper level first-round draft pick. He was an NBA player. It's not like he was a scrub or anything. I mean, maybe he wasn't good in the NBA. But if you're a first-round draft pick, I mean, that's a very, very exclusive club.
Well, and that's kind of where I laugh too, and I've always laughed at this, Lindsey. Like people say Sean Bradley was a bust. That dude played for like 13 years.
Wasn't.
13 years that dude played
and
for.
What's the other big that was at Wagner? Is it Wagner? They had it was two of them, right?
There's Mo and Franz.
Yeah. So same type of kid, right? The first one was a 7-footer who could shoot the ball a little bit. Got drafted
first round.
Guaranteed contract.
There you go.
M's in the bank.
There you go.
That's it. That's
played,
all.
And he played a little bit. Played a few years. I watched him a little bit. So, there's levels to it. But don't think that just because the guy is not a, rotational player or he's not playing that he's not an NBA player. Doesn't mean that.
Todd Saint says the slander should be for Juwan Howard for having his team throw the ball into Hunter to get triple teamed all the time and not actually run a real offense. That's
fair.
Yeah, I knew Sam Flannel was going to say that.
Sam, why is that fair? Like, the object of basketball, Flannel. Let me basketball 100 to create a situation where you have an advantage, right? So if I throw the ball into a guy and he's double teamed, what does that make me? Like that gives me an advantage, right?
It's 4-on-3 so the rest of the floor, right?
No, it's to me the Juwan Howard thing, the whole Hunter Dickinson. It's a wider discussion than just set plays out of a timeout. Although Juwan Howard, that wasn't his strong suit. It's just that when he would throw the ball out, when Hunter Dickinson would throw the ball out, it seemed like it was either Hunter Dickinson or Jet Howard just get you a bucket. There was no real flow or anything to this offense. And that's something that I watched John Beilein be a wizard at. So
he had different type of players too.
That's fair, but that for a myriad of reasons, I'm not a Juwan Howard guy at all. He should be gone now, but that's another discussion.
Oh, wow. So every great coach that struggled early on should be gone. That means we'd have no Tom Izzo. That means we'd have nobody.
If Juwan Howard becomes Tom Izzo, I'd be doing backflips. I find that highly unlikely.
Well, get your shoes ready.
Okay. Hey, I'd love that. I'd love it if that happens. I'd love to be wrong.
But you can't just a second-year coach. You say get rid of him.
Real quickly, Lindsey. Sports talk for two here. A couple of people who worked at college basketball and stuff like that. Rick Pitino to St. John's. Love it. He's going to win there, Lindsey. He's going to win there.
I mean, if everybody just turned a blind eye to cheating, he'd win everywhere.
Well, apparently they did because he's won everywhere.
Exactly.
See, like that doesn't I know.
Well, here's
Lindsey.
my problem with the moral compass of everybody in the world just about college basketball. We're so microscopic when it comes to players doing things, but coaches can be the scumbags of the earth, and it's okay. Oh, it's fine. He ran a brothel down in Louisville, but it's fine. We can just brush that to the side. But a player took a bag of money and he's a criminal. Never let him play again. That's my problem.
And that's fair, but he's going to win at St. John's. I mean, that's why he's there, Lindsey. I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Like he's going to win there.
I'm just stating facts.
Ransom says Lindsey Hunter for next Michigan coach vote. So that's out there as well. A lot of people talking about that. I'm not going to put Lindsey on the spot like that because Sam Flannel would.
Juwan's my guy.
Juwan's your guy, absolutely. So that's
Flannel hating enough.
Flannel is hating enough. Hey, got a big project. What's the play, everybody?
Well, the play is obvious. There's only one play to make if you have a big project or even a bog project, and that is Alta. Because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You have a big project coming up. Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA because it's Alta Equipment where uptime matters.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit customhealthcenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called the Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Final segment of the show, Neal, Ruhl, Lindsey, Hunter in for D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rackstad here with you. Michigan State in action tonight as they square up with Kansas State at the Garden, at the Mecca. That's one place, Lindsey, I haven't been yet. We haven't had a game, and I haven't done any Knicks games or anything like that in Madison Square Garden. I've heard the arena is kind of mid, but it's just the aura of being
the
in
nostalgia. It's,
yeah.
You see all the pictures on the walls of all the people that have performed there. You got Michael Jackson, you got Madonna, you got, it's crazy, and you can kind of feel it. And then when you go out, it's electric.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how the energy is at that place. And, you know, Spike Lee, and you see all the stars. And
I want to go to MSG so bad.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
I kind of do too. Like, I'd like to get in there to call a game. So, I did my first game at Barclays Center this year.
That's a cool place too.
Yeah, how the bus goes in. The bus goes into the tunnel, into an elevator, and then they lower the bus down.
Yeah, that's a cool.
And then
place.
It pulls up, and then they spin the bus around on the little merry-go-round or whatever.
It's cool there too.
Yeah, it was very, very cool there.
Yeah,
that was like upscale.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the amenities and all
they
that stuff.
They redid you know New York. They redid it. It looks newer.
Yeah.
But the locker rooms look a lot better because they used to suck. It was awful.
That's what I've heard.
The locker room was about the size of this.
Yeah,
it was terrible
for 15 NBA guys or
that
12
and
NBA
the Boston
guys.
Garden used to suck. It was worse than this. Like the Boston Garden was smaller, and with the holes in the windows.
Yeah, and the panels of the floor that were dead and the ball wouldn't bounce. Man,
terrible. They loved it though.
I know they did. F those guys, man. Boston Celtics. Oh, by the way, Robert Closia said, I'm trying to call in to call Sam Flannel a bozo. Oh, but you couldn't get through. Why is that, Sam Flannel?
There's just a few minor complications. Tomorrow before the show, I'll obviously test it and everything.
Tomorrow before the show, or by 2 o'clock when the bottom line comes on?
We'll get it all settled by 11.
Will it be handled by 2 o'clock today? I get the feeling it will.
Well, JB's actually had a lot more experience with the phones lately than I have. So.
Will it get handled by 2 o'clock today? I bet it will.
Probably. If I'm just being honest.
Surprise, surprise.
Stunner. Absolute stunner.
Sorry about that, Robert Colosia. That's my bad.
Really weird.
Yeah, I mean, final word. They get water. They get foams.
Yeah.
Coffee.
We've all been called up to the big leagues. All of us in this room have literally been on that show at some point.
When they need us, when they need something, they call us.
Holiday.
Yep.
That's right.
When they need or want something, then they call us.
Oh yeah,
we're used and discarded like a water bottle. Like, it's just absolute. Okay, that's fine. Think about that the next time. The next time you need a host. The next time you guys need someone to bring the juice to the final bottom word. You know, think about me and then move on past that.
We're like the Toledo Mud Hens of this network,
right?
Yeah,
we absolutely are. Facilities and everything, right? Absolutely. So there's that. Yeah, well, yes. You know, yes. Peaceful Tim says, Lindsey, Hunter holding it down today. Strong effort, bro. Appreciate
it, man. Flannel brings the best out of me.
Yeah. Giving the people what they want. Everybody got what they wanted out of that. That was a business transaction.
Flannel, man.
David Mentier says nobody on the final word has won an award from our Detroit. And you know what, David? No one on this show has won an award from our Detroit either. Somebody on this show has won awards, plural, from our Detroit. Hey!
There you go.
Oh! Lorena Rios, Neal, did you get any gas from your Big Boy Burger yesterday? I did not, because the Big Boy Burger is a banger, and it's an institution.
I do regret not going on.
D-Mac knocked down 2.
He ate a waffle for me?
No, he had
burgers?
2 Big Boy Burgers. How many Big Boy Burgers could you eat?
I don't know.
Could you eat 4?
Yeah, if I really wanted to. Yeah.
And fries, remember.
And fries?
Yes,
D-Mac
and
skimped
fries.
out on the fries on the second
he
one.
did? Okay.
How many Big Boy Burgers could you eat during a 2-hour show? If you had the juice of the people, egg and yan and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I could eat 4.
Could you
4
eat 5?
what?
I don't know. That's pushing.
5 Big Boy hamburgers. Could you eat 5? 5's aggressive.
5's aggressive. 4, you can space it out, like one
One
per
every half hour.
Yeah.
There's a rhythm and a cadence
for
to
sure.
it.
For sure.
Okay. I just want to see. Kevin Donaldson says even Nedeljkovic gets called up in emergency situations.
Yeah, it's true.
He's still with us, right?
Yeah, he got called up.
Really?
Yeah. Husso might be hurt, or Hellberg might be hurt. I'm not sure.
I'm fine with it now. Actually, I prefer that, because we've reached the point where you're penalized for winning.
Yeah.
And if you put him out there, you're guaranteed that it's not going to win. Ryan says you could eat 6 to 7.
No, I don't think about. I don't know. That's in 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Real quick before we get out of here, Jack Harrington says Sam Flannel needs to shave his head if Michigan State makes the Final Four.
No, I'm not Jeff Iafrate. I don't make crazy declarations like that. That's not going to happen.
Sounds like you're a little afraid they might.
I mean, of course I am. You got Kansas State. I mean, Kansas State, I respect them. I get the whole pace conversation. But then if they get past Kansas State, you either get Rick Barnes or Florida Atlantic. I like my odds of Michigan State against either of those teams.
Rick Barnes, man. You talk about it. Well, Lindsey, you're in the profession. I'm not going to.
No.
You talk about dudes that fall up.
Always.
Rick Barnes, man.
Gets the best players money can buy.
Allegedly.
It's a very fine regular
it's
season
legal
coach.
now. We can say it. It's legal now. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it now.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so lots of talk about Flannel being called a bozo. So I think that's a good place to stop right there. Lindsey, appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
As always.
Enjoyed it.
For NBA champion Lindsey Hunter, Sam Flannel, and Spencer Raxter, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.
Pete.